Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohamad Saiful bin Ali. My metric number is B0918104002. So today I want to present my PSM project, which is my topic is investigation of mechanical and physical properties of the natural fiber reinforced composite using Taguchi method bagas. So first thing first, I want to thanks to my supervisor, which is Encik Fadhilah, and I also want to thank to my panel, which is Dr.Najiyah Safwa and Encik Azrin, for watching my video. So we move to the first part, which is introduction. So as we know, sugarcane is the primary raw material that are used to manufacture the ethanol and sugar, while the remaining the sugarcane we call is bagas, which is the fibrous residue after we crush it. And then fiber is starting to become a new, which is often used in the further increasing the use and technology of composite. Next, the advantage of using the natural fiber composite is because it's a renewable, low density, environmentally friendly, and it was biodegradability and flexible use also. Problem statement. So right here there is a 3 problem statement, which is the first one, there is a limitation in the production of the composite based on the chemical material, because the chemical material right now is hard to obtain and it also dangerous to our nature. And the next one is natural material in our country are not used properly, and it even to lead in excessive waste. This is also damaging our natural ecosystem. And the last one is there are also no detailed experiment were performed to analyze the existing data. For the objective, there is also 3 objective. The main objective, which is the first one, is to study the mechanical properties of the sugarcane bagas reinforced of the fiber composite. And the second one is to study the physical properties of the sugarcane bagas reinforced fiber composite. And the last one is to find the optimum factor between the 2 different level in producing the height of the bio composite using the Taguchi method. So for the scope, so there is a scope also, which is the first one is the testing the bagas fiber mechanical properties by using the tensile test, by using the universal tensile machine with the ASTM standard, which is ASTM E23 standard. And the second one is the physical properties study for the water absorption test. Also we using the standard ASTM, which is the ASTM D570/98. And the last one is we using the Taguchi method to find the optimum level and optimum factor to make or create the best composition of our sugarcane bagas biocomposite. So we move to the methodology. So this is our flowchart from A until the end. So the first thing first, what we need to do is a sample preparation, which is our bagas biocomposite preparation. So after that, after do the sample preparation, we do the test, which is we have the tensile test and we have the water absorption test. After that, we do the data collection and do the Taguchi method. After do the Taguchi, so that we can analyze, discuss and further explain about the experiment and the data collection. So after that, we conclude all of that in one conclusion. So we move to the sample preparation. So first thing first, we have the bagas preparation. So the bagas preparation is so we need to extract it, and then we have to dry it, and then we need to crush it into the small size, which is we have 2 size, which is we have the 5 mm size and we have 10 mm size. And then after do the drying the bagas, we try to mix all of the parameter with the our bagas, which is we have the PVA, we have the cassava starch, we have the glycerol, and we also have the bagas lah. So and we mix it and we preheat, mold it, and compress it into a mold, and then put it into the hot press and cold press machine. So at the hot and cold press machine, we set it up the setting, which is we do the setup is 155 for the temperature and 5 ton for the pressure, and the preheat time is the heating time is 60 minutes and its cold time is 20 minutes. So after that we get a sample of our new biocomposite sample, so that the sample is ready for the testing. So this is a few software and equipment for our testing. So first thing first, we have the mini tab. So mini tab, we need to do the Taguchi method and analyze the data. And next we also have the universal tensile machine to do the tensile test. And also we have a small beaker or a container to do the water absorption test. We move to the result and the discussion. So this is my result for the tensile test, which is we do the almost 24 tests, which is we have example, but we repeat it 3 times. So it has 24 tests for the tensile result, and then we get the average value. So the first graph is represent the maximum parameter, which is we use the highest value of the weight, which is 10 gram of the bagasse. We use the bigger size of the size, which is 10 mm, and then we use the maximum value of the PVA, which is 5 gram of PVA, and we use the highest value of the cassava starch, which is 42 gram of the cassava starch, and the last one 30% of the glycerol. We mix it up and make a sample and we test it. So this is the graph. So the graph also represent the highest value from the others parameter, which is the maximum parameter at the highest value represent for the tensile test. So from the graph we can see that at the peak point is the highest tensile value, which is almost 6.24 megapascal, and after the peak point there is no reading, or the reading is reduced maximally because of our sample is breaking down, and so that machine cannot define any reading. So we move to the next graph, which is this graph. For this graph we use the maximum number of the wake, maximum size of the wake, but we use the minimum level of the PVA and minimum value of the cassava starch and 30% of the glycerol. So the graph is like this. The pattern is same like the first graph, but the value is lower than the first one. So the maximum point of the tensile value is 4.4 something, 4.51, and the breaking point is at the bottom of the sample. So I need to explain that the breaking point of every sample at the different point because of we don't know the composition of the bagasse in the sample. That's I mean that maybe the bagasse is low density at the higher part. So the breaking point is easy to break at the higher part, and maybe it will be at lower or in the middle. So it depends on the composition also. So this is same like the explanation with the first graph. The difference is just of the value of the tensile value, the maximum tensile value. Also, we move to the next graph also. This graph is represent the lower value of the bagasse, the highest the highest size of the bagas, lower PVA, the highest PVA and the lower cassava starch. This graph is a little different with the before graph, because of we can see at the picture the breaking point is not break like the before one, and is just a stretching. So when it achieve at the maximum tensile stress value, it still have the value because of the material is not totally breaking up. It's just is been necking. So we move to the last graph. The last graph is for the minimum value of the parameter, which is we use the lowest value of the weight, lowest value of the size, lowest value of the PVA, lowest value of the cassava starch, and then this is the result. So we can see there is no breaking point because of there is the material is like the first the before picture, it just squeezing and necking, but the machine cannot be defined the breaking point. So the graph still have the value until the is totally breaking out, but it take a lot of time to break because the composition is not the highest performance. So for the water absorption, so this is the result for the water absorption. So as we can see, we have the 8 sample of the parameter, and then we have the average weight and we have the average thickness. So we can see that for the maximum parameter, the weight after dry is 0.9, and the average thickness for the maximum parameter, we have the 4.35 mm, and then the minimum value for after test for the average weight, we have the 0.623 gram, and then we have the average thickness is 3.97 mm. So from the data, we can see that the bagas is high moisture when we put in the water absorption, which is good for the use of the it's good for the test that need or something that need to be used for the moisture for this sample, or the sample for the bagas fiber. So we move to the next one. So we move to the Taguchi method. So the first graph represent the Pareto chart of the standardized effect, and the second part is the main effect loss for the mean. So as we can see from the first and the second graph, that the weight is important in the sample preparation or the main effect for the tensile and the water absorption test, because of when the weight is decreased, the value of the tensile and the water absorption for the average value of the thickness and for the weight will be decreased also. So that's means the weight is the important thing to be considered when we do the sample preparation, and then after the weight we consider the PVA. After that we consider the size, and the last one we consider the cassava starch. So we can see, as we can see lah at the graph. So for the conclusion, I just want to say that I achieved all the objective, which is the first one is to study the mechanical properties of the sugarcane bagasse reinforced fiber composite. The next one is to study the physical properties of the sugarcane bagasse reinforced fiber composite, and the last one is to find the optimum factor between the two different level in producing the high strength of the biocomposite by using the Taguchi method, which is maximum parameter, and it been proven by the Taguchi method lah. So again, I want to thank to my supervisor, a lot of thank to my supervisor, Encik Muhammad Fadhilah bin Zainudin, and also to thank my panel, which is Dr.Najiyah Safwa and Encik Azrin. That's all from me. Thank you.